today I'm going to show you how to make a bee hotel. So we'll first look at the equipment that you're going to need. So here we've got everything you're going to need for your bee hotel. We've got a piece of untreated timber, we've got some screws, we've got a saw, some safety specs, a tape measure, screwdriver and pencil, and then a power drill. First thing I'm going to do is measure out my frame. Now I'm going to make mine about 20 centimeters wide, so I'm going to mark at 20, at 40, at 60 and at 80. So I've now drawn all of my guidelines to show me where I need to cut. So the next job is to use the saw, but I'm going to put my safety specs on first, and then I'm going to saw the pieces along those lines, which is a little bit hard to do with one hand, so I'm going to just put the camera down and I'll come back to you in just a second. So you can see here that I've cut my 4 pieces of timber and I've arranged them just into a standard square frame shape, and the next job is to drill some pilot holes, a couple here and a couple here on this end and on this end, just to stop the wood from splitting when we put the screws in. So I'm now just going to screw the final screw into my frame. And you'll see that I'm left with a nice solid box frame, and that is the first stage complete. So we're now going to make the roof for the bee hotel. So we need a little bit more timber, and we're going to do some more measuring. We're going to measure the length slightly longer than the sides of the frame that we've made. So my lengths were 20 centimeters for the frame, so I'm going to make these about 22-23 centimeters for the roof. So I've got my 2 pieces of wood for the roof. You'll notice I've also just given the edges a quick sand just to get rid of any sharp edges and any chance of splinters. And you'll also notice that these pieces of wood are slightly different lengths. Now that's not because my cutting was off. I have made one purposefully shorter than the other, and that's so that when they are standing, when I've screwed them together like that, the distance from here to here is going to be the same as the distance from here to here. Okay, and then you've got a nice apex roof. So as I did with the frame, I'm going to put in a couple of pilot holes just here and then screw that together. Okay, so here is my frame and my roof, and I've just laid them out in the position that I want them to be in. Now the next stage is a little bit tricky because we're going to need to do another couple of pilot holes and another couple of screws through each side where the frame comes into contact with the roof. So just there and just there. You might need 2 people to do this just to hold it all together so that you get the drill holes in the right place. But once you've done that, you should have a solid bee hotel ready to be filled in. So I've got my finished frame with its roof here, which I'm pretty pleased with. So now it's time for the next stage, which you're going to need some, I've just got garden canes here, but some stems which have different sized holes, and the different sized holes will be used by different bees and different insects. I've also got a couple of slightly larger bits of wood which I'm going to drill into the end of, just to create some more holes and a slightly different habitat. And I'm going to cut all of these to the same length as the box is wide, so that they all fit in here neatly, and then it's a case of filling in this hole and this hole with all of your cut canes, stems, bits of wood, whatever you have. So that is probably the longest part of the whole job, and certainly the bit that requires the most patience, but I've cut up all of my bamboo canes and I've drilled some holes into these bits of wood here. So now it's a case of filling your house, your hotel. Now some people do put a backing board on this, but generally if you can pack it tight enough, all of the sticks and things should stay inside when you stand it back up. But if you want to put a backing board on it, then now's the time. Okay, so here is my finished bee hotel, and for those of you that are thinking of building yours without a backing board, when you first start putting the bits in the middle, you'll think that it's impossible that these will ever stay in, but just to prove you can do it, I'm going to just pick mine up. There we go, and you can see no backing board on this. So you can see that there are lots of different size holes in all of these bits of bamboo cane, which is going to provide a fantastic habitat for lots of little beasts and bugs, and hopefully we'll get some solitary bees using this as well, possibly laying some eggs. So the last thing to do is to put some kind of a fixing on it to hang it up, and then to find your position. It should be a relatively sheltered position, just so that it's not going to get too wet. And once you've hung it up, you can just leave it and nature will find it when it wants to. Well, thank you very much for watching today, and very best of luck with building your own bee and bug hotel.